Hello, welcome to Enots Engineering. I'm Alan. In today's video we solve a problem about space. I've got a tool and cutter grinder which I want to move over to the same bench as my table grinder. But the problem is it's not big enough for both. So how do we overcome it? So let's go into the workshop and see what happens. This is where my grinding machine is at the moment, which I haven't used since I've made the tool and cutter grinder. So what I wanted to do was put the tool and cutter grinder here and take this away, but I don't want to get rid of it because I know as soon as I do I will need it. So what I want to try and do is make it available but out of the way. So the first job is to get rid of the tabletop here and try and sort out something new. With the grinder removed, I can take the worktop off. Below that you can see a compressor and a storage box. Now with the top taken off, this is what I've done so far. I've got two old door hinges which I've bolted to the frame and found this piece of board which I've bolted to the hinges. Now the board will fold up and the grinder can fit on top of this board and fold down underneath the table. And when I don't need it, it will fold backwards out the way. Using a brad point bit, two holes to mount the grinder. It's a brad point. Just tighten the two bolts up there, so now when you lift this up, it locks into there. And all I've got to do is put a lever on that will unlock it and then make a leg for it that will hold it the right height. You can see on the handle I drilled a small hole in the end so that I can put the cable tie through. This is going to be the support leg for the table. And what I'm going to do is use this, which is a support leg off a bath. I kept it because of the threaded bar. Just drill and tap the end there so that that can screw in. And that's on the floor. That should give me the height for the table. Thread on the end inside there. I don't want to get rid of that because this is an insert I made, and that thread in there is to hold the camera, so I want to keep that thread in there so I can use the tube for the camera as well when not being used for the grinder. So I'm re-drilling this at 6.5. 8mm by 1.25mm tap. So I've set it in the revolving centre so that's square. I'm using a handle on the headstock to rotate the chuck, at the same time tightening up the centre into the back of the tap. Back it off a bit. It should be square enough to do that. I've gone right in there. The thread has just come through to the depth of that hole. What I've done is turned it round in the chuck. Because the thread only goes from the back up to that hole, I'm going to drill out this side to the hole 8.5mm so that this threaded bar will go straight through, so I don't have to cut any off the bar, and I've got a lot of adjustment on that. So I've got the thread going from about there to that hole, clearance at the back, so hopefully this bar now should go right through. So I've got that to screw in. I've put a washer on this end and that will screw right through down to the bottom. I can put that back into the tube. Put the screws back in. And that's the leg base done. I'll work on the other end of the tube. Just making a small cap, piece of scrap aluminium. So I just made this small cap out of off-cut piece of scrap really that fits into the end of the other end of the tube. I'll just press that in. That's this leg finished. Now I found this piece of MDF from my scrap box. I'll just drill a hole through it There's a piece of pipe that I've got, so that fits through there. I've just got to drill 3 holes on the outside and countersink them for screws. And the idea is that the top of the leg fits into the wooden block and supports the table. Now what I have to do is adjust the bottom foot to get the table at the right level. I'm adjusting the nut on the foot to get the table level. Then when I've finished with it, just take the leg out, lift it up out the way. So that leg also holds my camera if I need it, so it's got 2 jobs. Now I've got my cutter grinder on the top, and underneath the bench I've got the compressor and the grinder. That's another job done, everything put back in its place. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Enots Engineering.